So more people are joining slowly. I will share my screen and just show you the brief agenda here. I'm going to keep this open so everybody has a sense of what we're doing today. We're just going to talk briefly about Panama, Venao, our team, get a little bit of context on that. We're going to then hand it over to Itai, our lead planner from Symbiosis Design, to talk about some of the design frameworks, design thinking, to give you some sense of how we're approaching this thing. And then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of what we're building, the master plan of the entire project, and details on phase 1. Screens will be shared, 3D models will be seen, and we will wrap up with some kind of grounding details on next steps. So, yes, Panama, Venao, etc. So, yeah, we're really excited to be doing this in Panama. I've been living here for 3 years. Some of our other partners have been living here for 20 years. Panama is great for many reasons. Some of the highlights are that their tax regime is really friendly and great. The currency that people use here is the US dollar, so that provides great stability. It feels very, very safe here. And Panama is a strategic ally to the United States, with the canal and all of that, including Trump's recent talks about maybe annexing it, or I don't know what. But yeah, we feel like we're in close ties with the US, and that's really excellent. And we're also in the New York time zone, which is really great for working with North America. And there's a great kind of rule of law and all that stuff. So it's a really great environment to be doing business and to be living as well. Playa Venao specifically, it's the best surf spot in Panama. We have an amazing tight-knit community. It's very wholesome vibes. People are very entrepreneurial. Lots of people here are starting businesses and doing all kinds of initiatives that are kind of solving problems for the community as it grows. And well, it's really a heaven for kids. A huge reason why I'm here is how awesome it is to raise my young kids here. We have 2 international schools. We have lots of after-school activities for kids, like surf, world-class jiu-jitsu, arts, skateboarding, music, soccer, and the list goes on and on. Our kids are very active, hanging out, smiling, having a great time every day. We're a small town of 500 residents, approximately. We don't have the exact count. We think we're going to go to 5K in 10 years. We think we're 10xing the community size here. That's a significant move, and exciting to us. And infrastructure is growing alongside that. We have a medical clinic launching this year, built by our partners, Molede. We'll talk about them in a second. We already have daily flights to and from Panama City, and the rate of flights is only going to increase. We have a small marina for boats in the works, and many, many more exciting developments. A bit about our team. Our team is basically 3 different teams coming together. So Moledet, they are our local partners. They live here in Venao and in Panama City, bringing many years of experience in entrepreneurship, in hospitality, and in real estate. They're the ones also who built the 2nd international school here in Venao. So they have a solid track record of creating real estate and knowing how to work in Panama specifically. Symbiosis brings in 20 years of experience of planning projects in Costa Rica, and at various scales. I think this is probably their biggest project, but still they have a lot of experience with the right building materials, how to treat topography, rain, and all the challenges that we need to face. And Dan and I come from 20 years of working in startups, doing marketing, product, tech, etc. And so we're kind of the people that are bringing kind of a set of fresh eyes to this kind of work, and bringing a lot of best practices from the tech world into this project. And honestly, together, we feel like a winning team. We're really excited about this combination. Without further ado, I'll hand it off to you, Itai, if you want to share a bit more about what symbiosis is, and then take us through the design frameworks. Go ahead.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So my name is Itai. I live in Costa Rica. I'm the lead designer and one of the owners of Symbiosis Design. We design all sorts of projects, starting from backyards. Most of our clients are families who develop homesteads that we develop their sometimes home and most often their farm. We use different design methods. The main one that we use is permaculture. I don't know if anyone have ever heard of that. To put it in a nutshell, permaculture is a design method that is inspired or is following the working principles of ecosystems. So we can frame it as applied ecology. And the reason why we use this as the main system that we use for design is that it results in it brings very good results. It's a very down to earth approach, very practical, very scientifically oriented, and its scope is much larger than usually associated with agriculture. So permaculture has to do with agriculture because it's a design method that makes sense and can be applied to pretty much anything. And it was picked up mostly by people in the field of agriculture. We are usually using permaculture in a broader sense as a design method applied to master planning, architecture, as well as agriculture. So if to give you some examples on how permaculture is being used in this context, when we talk about permaculture, there are many principles that we use. I'm going to mention a few and give an example. One of them is observe and interact. This is the first working principle of permaculture. And when we say observe and interact, what do we mean? We mean that we want to create a dialogue with the landscape. So for me, when I walk around on this planet and I look around, I see so often monologues. And an example for a monologue, maybe from the agricultural world, is if I drive from my house towards a town called Buenos Aires, I drive through this ocean of pineapples. For me, this is a complete agricultural monologue, meaning the people who manage this enterprise, they want to say one thing. They want to say pineapple, 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 a millionfold over. And they don't want to hear anything that the land has to offer or to say. So anything that is not pineapple is being mowed down by bulldozers, sprayed down by toxic chemicals. If it's insects or birds or topography or water flows. So in permaculture, we're trying to create a dialogue with the landscape. Our first step is observe, understand the landscape. The landscape we want to understand before we speak, and we want to create a dialogue. So we want to interact with the landscape in a way that enhances the things that the landscape can offer, and also repair the things that the landscape is lacking or is damaged. So more specifically in Venao, the landscape that we're facing, that we're developing, has a lot of topography, which is, from one end, it's challenging because it's much easier to develop land that is flat. On the other hand, it offers a lot of opportunities. So it offers us ocean views. It offers us different elevations. It offers us something that is more interesting. But also, there is something that it's telling us is that there is erosion. Because there is topography and it's in the tropics, we are facing situations of erosion that we can see on the slopes and in the valleys. So how can we create a development that is responding to that and not making it actually worse? Because the most conventional way to develop would be to just mow it down like the pineapple plantation, but in the development way. We're saying, no, we want to respond to that. We want to work with the water flows in a way that actually improves the condition of the land, that slows the water down, infiltrate the water into the ground, building up more water in the aquifer, and discharging the water slowly into the creek. How are we doing it? Where, first of all, when we do earth movement, we consider the water flows and how are we impacting the water movement through the land. Second, we're creating terraces that slow the water down and allow for more infiltration. Third, we're managing the water on contour, so they slowly move through the landscape, not rushing down the slope. Fourth, we're going to create a whole system of detention ponds that are holding the water before it's discharged into the creek. So actually, by developing, we have the opportunity and the resources to create a positive impact on the water cycle in the land. So this is just a very small example that I can touch on. Another concept that we're working is catch and store energy. So since Venao is a very hot climate, we are looking at different materials and architectural concepts that will allow us to reduce the need of air conditioners and provide comfort without the need of very high energy demand. So we're still not completely sure that it would be completely air conditioning free, but if there is going to be an air conditioning unit, we're going to make sure that it's going to work at I don't know, 30%, 20% of the capacity, whereas usually it's working at 100% in Venao. We want to improve efficiency of the units, reduce the solar gain by smart design, orientation of the windows, using roofing eaves and materials that allow us to reduce the temperature indoors, and so on. Design from pattern to detail. So as I mentioned, one of the things that we look at is what is the land telling us? What are the patterns that are present? What is the water flow? What is the topography? What is the soil type? What is the sun orientation at different times of year? And how is that impacting my solar gain in the houses? How can I remediate that? These are the patterns that are present in the land. And then there are the patterns that I want to engage with. For example, I'm saying, okay, there is a certain pattern of sun orientation and how it's hitting the walls in different times of the day and different times of the year. And then I creating a dialogue. I'm responding to that, and I'm saying, okay, so to that pattern, this is how I'm going to respond by thick, high thermal mass walls and eaves that extend towards the east and the west, so they're blocking the early sun and the late evening sun from gaining heat onto the building. So I'm responding to the natural patterns with my own design patterns. The use of renewable or natural resources, we are currently considering as one of the main construction materials, using the actual soil from the site in different forms. One form is rammed earth, which means taking the soil from the land, mixing a very small amount of cement just to stabilize it, and then ramming it into wooden frames and creating monolithic earth walls that are extremely beautiful and attractive, and have very high thermal mass, which is going to help me reduce the temperature. And or otherwise creating adobe bricks from them and using them in a different way. So we have different textures, we have different feelings for the different houses. We are not committed to just one aesthetic and one material. And that will, yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, I just want to invite you to slowly take us towards the what we're building section. We wanted to talk about pattern language and new urbanism. I think we'll skip it for now. Maybe touch upon it in the end.
Okay, sure. So I'll share screen. Just a second. So first of all, I'll show you just very briefly the whole layout of the project. So this is the 43-hectare farm. There is, and what Elad just mentioned about new urbanism and about pattern language, these are other different design methods that we're using. And both these methods speak about how to develop towns and villages and neighborhoods in a way that is on a human scale, that is comfortable, that is environmental. And one of the things that we are going to touch on is different rings of density and privacy. So the phase 1 project is this pink area here. This is what we're going to focus on and look more into today. This is going to be high density area. We are going to model it over the feeling of an old city. And we're going to look a little more in detail onto that. So this is a higher density, and this is kind of like a downtown area where there are a lot of amenities, a lot of mixed use apartments together with first floor stores and amenities. And then we have a second ring of density, which are apartment buildings, but with no mixed use. So these are more private. There is less people from the outside visiting, where the old city vibe is going to be more integrative and open to the public. So we have several of these apartment buildings, which are sort of like more private, but still in group together. And then we have a third ring of privacy and density, which are more spread out villas that has a lot more privacy. They're higher up in the landscape. They have more ocean view, and they are much more private. Okay, so this is just on a large scope, kind of like what you can see on the larger project. And then if we go here, we can see this is an overview of the whole of Venao. And this here is the old city or vibe that we want to create. The whole project is all through here. And this is the bay. This is the current town. So you can see we're still in very short distance from the coast, from the beach, and we're higher above. So if we go to the next view, we can see the topography that we're working with in that specific location. So you can see we have these two ridges that have a steep valley in between. This is what we call in permaculture, we call it a primary valley, meaning that there is no runoff that is coming from higher up. It's not a creek, it's not a river. It's the first instance in the land that water is starting to gather and create water flow. So there is no water here unless it's raining, right? It's only runoff. It's a runoff ditch basically, and it's pretty badly eroded. The fact that these slopes are so steep are indicators, and down here we can definitely see marks of erosion. And I'll take you to the next slide, and this is where we're going with it. So we're concentrating a lot of the amenities and apartments, houses, public spaces in that relatively very small area. This area is 1.6 hectares. There are a few other structures I'll talk about over here. All in all, this whole thing is less than 2 hectares. And it allows us to retain most of the land, most of the 43-hectare mother farm as green space, meaning reforestation, food forests, and conservation. So this is one of the reasons that we chose that path. Instead of spreading ourselves all over the land, we are concentrating a lot of the infrastructure on this very, very small area, but we're going to make sure that we're interacting in a positive way with the land and creating something that is really cool, really exciting for anyone that wants to live there. So I'm going to then go to the next scene. Wait. Yes. So I'm removing here the topography, so just so we can see it in a cleaner way. And I'll give you a little tour of the town so you can get a feeling for it. So arrival is through this road here in the back. This is one of the parking spaces. And then you have an approach through here. So this is the first arrival spot to the land. There is a one-way road that wraps around it. So on one side, we're going down, and then it wraps around and comes back up. Because of the very steep topography, we cannot do a double road. Also, we don't want to have a lot of car traffic, and we don't want to see cars through the developed area. So the cars are kept to the back. So once you arrive and you park your car, or you walked in, you don't see any car, you don't hear any car. It's all from the back. So this is the main entrance. It goes through this impressive portal. I don't know if that's going to be the final design. This is just a concept here. And then if I position myself here, we can look at some other features. This is the swimming pool. There is an amphitheater that is going to allow for concerts and shows, and every once in a while, if there is a party that is being thrown, it's a great dance floor. And then on there's a plaza that we call the Sunset Plaza, because it has view towards the sunset that is over there, that's west. And then we have this structure here that is going to be a hotel and a restaurant. On that side, we have co-working space, we have apartments, we have some stores opening to the street here. There are arcades all through the design, because we want people to be able to walk in the shade, and if it's starting to rain, you can walk under a roof. So there is all these circulation routes that allow you to move through the whole project without going out in the sun. We have people in wheelchair and parents with a stroller with babies at the top of our list, so you can go everywhere without using stairs if you need. There are stairs that contact the different places, but there are also always alternate routes that use either ramps or elevators to get around. So if an older person that cannot use stairs very easily, or parents with a stroller, there is a very easy way to get around. So here we have a different view of the plaza, of the amphitheater, of the pool, and the pool palapa that's going to have a probably bar and chairs and sunbathing area and so on. Then we have a park area. The park area is open lawn for playing frisbee, for playing maybe we have a volleyball or football court here, and then there are commercial areas open to the park. So we have this complex here that has a convenience store and a gelato and a bakery, and they open to a small private courtyard here that leads the residents of the apartment. So these are residential units around here. Here, same thing, along the street level, we have commercial spaces, and above that, the lighter color are private apartments with beautiful ocean view. Then we have the lower city, what we call the lower city, that has plazas. You can see here, these are approach ways for strollers and wheelchairs, as well as stairs that are going to make shortcuts. We have this main plaza with a little water feature or foot bathing pool kind of vibe. And then we have residential homes around it. We have ample parking. So this is underground sort of parking that allows for a large number of cars. We also have ample parking below this area. We have wherever we can, we put parking, so it's convenient, but all the parking is approached from the perimeter road. And once you park your car and walk into the center, the cars are out of sight. Dan, Elad, any comment, any thought before we...
Do you have another scene? I mean, maybe it's good to just look from above again, a big overview, and we can mention the gym. Is that part of the design?
Yes, absolutely. Here? Absolutely.
So we have like more of a wellness center there in the back.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you just mentioned those briefly, and then let's hand it over to Dan to talk about some next steps, and then get to Q&A.
Right. So if this is our approach road, it goes up the hill, and we have this gym structure here that is under a tree. If I turn on this, there's some actual existing trees. The large trees are existing trees in their position. So I'll turn on the topo as well so we can get a better feeling of it. So we have this beautiful Guanacaste tree here, and next to it, there's going to be a gym that allows for machine work, allows for calisthenics, allows for CrossFit, and it's going to have a climbing wall on one of the faces. And we have a spa with a yoga deck that opens up to beautiful view of the forest and this valley. And here again, there is parking for these two spaces and also for the main space. So yeah, these are important features. Outside of the gym, we're probably going to have some a small basketball / other sports court and a skate park on the hillside here. These are things that need more development and design yet, but
yeah. So I guess I want to emphasize that everything you're seeing is work in progress. This is stuff that Itai and our planning team have been shaping in the last couple of weeks, and there's things still might change, move around a bit, get refined. But we're really excited to share this snapshot with you. And yeah, Dan, over to you for some next steps.
Yeah, just to add that, hi everyone, and just to add that, yeah, we're building in public and sharing things as they're developed, as you've seen all on our social media, and it's part of our kind of ethos and principles to share as much as we can. It's great for business, and it's also amazing to get feedback as we go. Just want to share some of the timelines, what's coming up, what's the opportunity from our point of view, and why now, and a bit on prices in Venao. So in terms of timelines, in the next 2-3 months, we're going to be finishing this planning after many months of first doing the master plan and then now doing the phase 1 detailed planning. And by then we'll have kind of we'll know how much square meter we have. We'll have a price list. And then we'll go into permitting, which will take between 6 to 10 months. And then as we do this, we'll also do more detailed design of phase 1 of the houses, the apartments, everything we're going to be building. And in about 3 years, we'll have the first keys to hand to the first buyers. In terms of opportunity, Venao is very early. We're still very early with Playa Venao. There's only 500 residents, as Elad said, and we've seen similar surf towns in Central America, like Santa Teresa and Nosara. Really, we've seen their prices appreciate a lot. So we expect that this will happen in Playa Venao as well. We hope that our work and our project will inspire others in Playa Venao to not do overdevelopment, and that's really top of mind for us as well. So as we think that the way we are working and approaching this with permaculture, with Symbiosis and Itai, is probably going to make this the best project in Playa Venao. We hope to be the best. We hope that it's going to become kind of the residential center of Playa Venao. Playa Venao's beach is probably going to be more and more touristic, and we're going to be more in the back, in the hills where the residents will hang out. So it's so early. So that's why I think whoever is interested is probably it is going to be the best prices that we'll offer, because it's basically the best prices that we'll ever offer. And definitely think it's a great investment for a short-term asset and also a long-term. So either to live there or to live there for a few months a year and then rent it out for the rest of the months of the time. yeah, and the opportunity is to speak with us, and early adopters are going to get dibs on where they're going to choose their apartment. They'll be able to choose the size, the views, the location. So that's why you guys, it's awesome that you're here, because you're the earliest. And in terms of prices, Venao today, projects, not like individual houses, but actual projects, the prices range between $3,500 per square meter to $5,000 and more. And so like 100 square meters, which is 1,000 square foot, will go for around $350,000 to $500,000. Pretty likely that this will appreciate, and our prices will likely be in this range. Yeah, so if you want to speak with us, so we urge, if this is all interesting and relevant, then we urge you, we'll share a link to a page with some of this information, and also a link to book a call with us to get more details and discuss. And in the meantime, I'm inviting you all to follow us on whatever social platform you use, and subscribe to our newsletter, because that's where we share the most dense information. And yeah, and so we're really happy that you all are here, and really hope to hear from you, whether you're interested or just want to give us feedback and give us your thoughts. We're always listening.
Thank you, Dan. And so just quickly sharing here the page that we're going to send all of you at the end of this session. I am also just going to drop the link right now in the chat in this call. And we are opening it up to Q&A. Please feel free to start asking questions.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. The presentation was great, and what you're creating here looks amazing. My question is actually around the different stages. Our interest would be more in the villa side of things. We would love to get a kind of time frame in terms of when that might be coming online and how that will work.
So for the villa side, we don't have a very clear timeline for that. As we said, we estimate roughly 3 years until we have keys for phase 1. Permitting for phase 1 will take, let's call it, so like we said, around 6 to 10 months, starting soonish. And I think once permitting for phase 1 is underway, we should be able to do permitting for the upper areas as well. Since we're not providing, since if you want to buy a villa, well, then what you're really blocked by is our ability to deliver infrastructure to that area. And so it's hard to give an exact timeline. What I can say is that we're very open to creating custom deals for early adopters and the right people. We really think that the project will be more successful when we're able to bring the right people into the circle, people that care about the project. And so we're open and flexible. And if there's a need for it, then we can certainly work to accelerate those timelines. But just to be realistic, probably no less than 3 years until we will, maybe a little bit less, but around that time to deliver infrastructure all the way to the villas to be able to construct there as well. So it's an estimate, but the estimate can become more concrete given serious interest. And as we said many times in this call, we're very early days. So the best fit right now is for kind of early adopters, people that kind of are believers and have the patience to work in this kind of custom way and live with some degrees of uncertainty here. What we're offering in exchange, or kind of our side of it, is just we're very open, very transparent. What you see is what you get. And we're here, ready and available to talk and build relationships and build trust. So I hope that's a sufficient answer. Sorry, it's not a very exact number.
No,
Inviting anyone else.
You're on mute, SJC.
Now I'm online. Yeah, you hear me, guys? Thank you so much for your presentation. It's been a pleasure. I'm just wondering. I saw you guys on Instagram, and I just love the way on how you present everything. And I'm just wondering, what is your main goal in the end of the whole project? Is it like you want to build Venao like this? Like, I have never been to Panama, so I'm just asking as a foreigner. Are you like trying to develop a little city 2.0, like Venao 2.0, for foreigners and people that already live there? Or is it like you really want to do like exclusive private area just for I do it like really the words are like really high set, but like for only rich people that can afford to come there? Or what is your main goal in the end?
I think the story starts from my stumbling upon Venao and kind of coming here for 1 month, and lo and behold, it's more than 3 years now, and kind of falling in love with the place. And then talking with Dan about it, and kind of setting our targets towards being part of something exciting. So with or without our project, Venao is a town with a lot of entrepreneurial energy. And it's actually a town that started from scratch about 20 years ago. There was nothing here but grazing land, cows, basically. And then a bunch of expats started buying land from the locals, and something started to emerge. And so that timeline is progressing. And then for us, it's a question of, are we participating in it or not? And we're choosing to participate in it because it's an exciting endeavor, and because we love this place, and because we think that we can have a positive impact on how this place evolves. We don't, the word exclusive doesn't resonate with us. We actually want to be very inclusive. Probably the most exclusive aspect of everything will always boil down to money. There are certain economics of the cost of land, the cost of building, the cost of labor that translate into the price. Our vibe is not to squeeze maximum margin, maximum dollars, but rather to have a healthy margin, a healthy business that won't collapse on itself because we were too cheap. But also not too greedy. We just want to have a healthy margin. Our primary goal is to create the most phenomenal experience that we can create for people that will choose to live in this place. And they can be a variety of people. The main target audience is families with young kids, simply because that is, in my mind at least, what Venao is ideal for. Because it's a small town, as you have older kids, you want them potentially to be exposed to more stimuli, more kind of multiculturalism, multiple aspects of how the world works. But at these early days, what's on offer here is absolutely phenomenal for the kids and for the parents. It's also fantastic for retirees, especially with growing medical services. So anyways, we think it's for a lot of people. Nomads, retirees, young couples, families, etc. We want it to be as inclusive as we can possibly make it. And I would say that the primary filter is awesome people that are kind, that care, that are not cynical, people that want to be creative, people that want to be with their family, people that want to build a wholesome community, people that are truth-seeking. We want to develop a culture that feels really good to be in. And if we sense that someone is an asshole, we would not want them to join the project. Otherwise, everybody's more than welcome. Do you have any follow-up questions to that?
No, that's actually the perfect answer I wanted to hear. Thank you so much.
I'll just add that we thought about this a lot, and the downtown area is we really wanted to be open to be like a lot of places we've seen other projects. They're basically gated communities, and so having a downtown where people are invited from all over Playa Venao, Panama, the world, to come and hang out and be basically a new urban center for Playa Venao is really exciting for us. So we would like to see people from all walks of life to come and hang out, at least, not only buy an apartment, but also visit. Be a really nice place to visit.
Yeah, we really want our downtown to be the downtown of Venao for the residents. That's a really exciting vision that we're holding and hoping it'll come true. Anyone else want to jump in with questions? You're more than welcome. Go ahead, Samuel.
Hello. Hello, Dan in the lab. Hey, Bai, thanks for the presentation. Absolutely beautiful. I was in Venao last week, so for you guys that have not been to Venao, it's a magical place. It's an amazing place where you can watch the sunset, you can surf, you can do jujitsu. The food, there's probably not a surf or beach town in the world that has better food than Venao. Generally, you don't associate beach town with like incredible gastronomy, but that's how it is over there, and it blows your mind. And looking at the render, I could just imagine seeing the whole view from up top. It's a totally like different experience. I would love to see it in person. And so the question that I had was in the main plaza, that main downtown area. As far as the elements go, you have the pool, you have the amphitheater, and then you have the sunset part. What's like the main focus of the main plaza, like or the priority of elements of the plaza? What's the main kind of star of the plaza?
Itai.
Yeah, so here I'll share screen again. So we have a cascade of plazas, right? The top one we call the Sunset Plaza is going to have a cafe. This turquoise level here is going to have a cafe with a round facade that opens up to the plaza, and a welcome office that is going to double up as a concierge for the people who live around here. So we envision here. Actually, I think I have details. All right, so the idea here is to have some maybe food trucks and tables with parasols that open up and a water feature. So this is kind of like a welcome plaza where there is gastronomy happening. There are storefronts. There is a welcome office that gives you orientation and double up as a concierge, and that's the focus of that first plaza. The second plaza has to do with the amphitheater, which can have as much activity and frequency of activity as the residents of this place wish to have. It could have a casual gathering once a week, maybe, I don't know, sunset drumming, African drumming circle or something. And it could have parties thrown every once in a while. It can have concerts of selected artists. And the frequency is totally up to the homeowner association to discern if they want it to be once a year or if they wanted to have it once a week. And then there's the pool. So this big plaza has these two functions. We were debating a lot about the compatibility of these two and whether it's a good idea to put them on the same level. We were playing with dividing it into two separate levels. In the end, we feel that because the frequency of use of the stage as an actual arena for the amphitheater is not going to be so high, we feel that there is high compatibility because then it just creates more space around the pool. So casual gatherings of people can happen. Maybe if your kids want to go on rollerblades, there is just this big flat paved surface that can allow for that. We were dreaming at a certain point of having a brazier where you can have a kind of like a fire, a bonfire, kind of like gathering space where people can just make a bonfire and gather around, and that could be removed if the stage, if and when the stage is being used for another purpose. So we feel like this plaza has multiple uses, but it's also on a high compatibility level. I mean, if you bring a DJ and you're throwing a party, you want to have a lot of dance floor space. And if it is integrated with a pool, the more, even the better, right? It's like a pool party / dance party. It's a great setup. Here is like a bathroom. There are on both sides, there are bathroom, changing rooms, and there is a good flow from the, from the other circulation realms and amenities into the pool, without losing the kind of like feeling of privacy around the pool, because it's kind of protected by the palapa. And then the next one is more about sports. It's about movement. It's about kids playing, about adults playing, about everybody's playing. So each one of these levels have a little bit of a different vibe, and we feel that there is a good flow between them. I can go even deeper into that and explain why certain decisions were taken, but I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, 100%. No, it makes sense. It looks super fun.
Awesome.
Thank you, Samuel. Anyone else?
Just one question. Is there the possibility to come and visit you guys on site?
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to be in Panama in November this year. So yeah, would love to come by and have a look at Venao and maybe meet up or something. Yeah.
That would be fantastic. Please reach out to us anywhere, DM us on Instagram or Twitter, or email us and remind us that you want to visit. And we can also help with logistics, help you find a good accommodation, flights, etc. We're here to help. About to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think we'll wrap up. So thanks everybody that got to this point. Thanks to the people that joined earlier and left. Thanks to anyone who's going to watch this recording online at a later point. We're really excited to share our story and share our progress. Excited to do more of these. And yeah, please be in touch with us. We'll send everybody a link. Again, I dropped a link in the chat. We're going to send everybody an email with a link as well, with a page with more information, some summary, and the channels on how to stay in touch with us. And we'd love to hear from you. Final words, Dan, Itai?
It's all a great project. I really enjoy working on it, and really enjoy working with Dan and Elad and Adi. So yeah, thank you very much, and thank you all.
Yeah, well, thank you, Itai, and thank you everyone for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.